Hi there, I'm Sonia Wood, and thank you for joining me here on this Season 2, Episode 15 of our Oikos Family Podcast. I hope you have had a very good start to your year, 2023. I wanted to stop by and tell you something about this number 23. It's quite an interesting little story. It might seem to have nothing to do with anything specific, but anyway. This number 23 is very, very significant in our lives because I actually grew up and the number of the street, the house where I grew up was number 23. And then each time we have moved or gone somewhere else, this number 23 keeps popping up, such as the place where we live now is number 23. My parents bought a property home in the same nature reserve where we live here in South Africa, and it was number 23. Now that seems strange that in the same place you can have two number 23s, but the place where we live used to be a big farm land, and it was divided. It was two separate farms, and it was divided into one, and so now there's these two different areas, and one is all the numbers start with H, and the other one, all the numbers start with M. And we stay at M23, and my parents bought a home at H23. And then we needed to find a place to run Oikos from. And we eventually found a place because the place where we were running it from, we couldn't anymore. And what happened is the place that we found, the amount of land was 23 hectares. It's quite a lot of land. Anyway, it was the number 23 again. So now here we are in 2023. And so I just wanted to share with you this little story about this number 23. But it goes further because my mother, she always has taken Psalm 23 wherever we've purchased property or, in whichever home we've stayed at. She's taken the Psalm 23 and written it out beautifully with calligraphy and rolled it up in like a little scroll and planted it somewhere in the home that we stay at, find a place to put it. And it's just always been very precious because, it's blessed the home with this number 23 and Psalm 23. So I just thought it was significant for me to share this with you. When I started sharing with you, I was wondering, what's the point of me sharing this number 23? It's so significant to our family, our lives. But if we think of Psalm 23, you know what? I'm going to just encourage you to go read Psalm 23 rather than me talking about us thinking about it. I'm going to encourage you to go read it. And you will, I hope, just be so blessed, because are we not just always blessed when we read the word? And I just pray that it will just bless you when you read Psalm 23 at the start of this year, 2023. And I don't know, maybe you will be inspired to, do an activity of sort, get the children to make a poster or whatever. You will come up with some wonderful inspiration of what to do. I'm just suggesting that at the beginning of this year, you make a theme that actually carries you through the year, a theme that comes from God's word that will encourage and uplift and strengthen and give you peace. Because isn't that something that is just such a precious treasure, to have peace in our home? So that's what I hope for you. I hope that 2023 is going to be that. It's going to be peace for you. In the previous podcast, I spoke about joy and strength, because we had to enter into this year not allowing our joy and our strength and our hope and our peace to be absent. We had to be intentional about deciding, right, we're going to have hope and we're going to pray and we're going to believe and we're going to walk in peace and joy. And then we'll be strong. So I spoke about that in the previous podcast, but in this podcast, because the emphasis was 23, and Psalm 23 comes to mind because of what I've just shared about my mom always writing it out beautifully. I just think, why not pass that on? And let me hope that you too will have a wonderful year, all year, one that you can walk in peace and there can be peace in your home. In fact, if you've got some stories to tell me about that, I would love to hear them. if you think of some activities to do around this theme of Psalm 23, I'd love to hear about them. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate your time, and I look forward to sharing with you again in the next podcast. Bye for now.